I can't be waiting for you now. Ain't buying father time, so wake up, waste time another day. That's why we'll never understand. Okay, if I could conversate with you tonight about a thing, I don't know what the fuck to say. I don't know. Waiting for a day to go back, it's for a way to go. Taking on my change so bad. Sad to see you never know. Take out, you're rocking now. Fake all your passion now. Wipe down windows, sit passenger. Take rocks, sit down, don't work it out, the morning coming. And you so down and out about the stories. Head in a cloud, see clearly rain is pouring out. Hop out that bed, wait for it to make it for you. Standing on my own toes, walking by, yeah. I could see the sun, yeah. I could see the sun, yeah. Waiting for you by your daughter's side. I don't know, yeah. I don't know, yeah. I got to be watching for you. 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 I got to be watching for you on days that I wanna know you, on days that I wanna do you, on days that I ain't there for you. I got to be watching for you, days that I wanna know you, on days that I wanna do you, on days that I ain't there for you. Take out, you're rocking now. Fake all your passion now. Wipe down windows, sit passenger. Take rocks, make up for solid ground. Take rocks, make up for solid ground. Take rocks, make up for solid ground. Guess I'll surf in the window. I miss myself when I had some common sense. Ooh. All my shirts hanging in the closet. Outlast me when I'm no longer here. Question why you sitting here in the middle of my mind. Take a lap around the city, dear, in the middle of the night time. Ooh, guess I'll surf in the window. I miss myself when I had some common sense. Ooh, all my shirts hanging in the closet. Outlast me when I'm no longer question why you sitting here. Waiting on sense when I had none. Waiting on sense when I had no time. Waiting on sense when I had no time. Break that fence when I'm on that, yeah. Make no sense when I'm on that. Sick of it, what your doctor say. Sick of it, what your doctor say. Sick of it, what your doctor say. It ain't space when you walk away. Bigger space when you wanna stay. And I'm on a break. I'll be back when I'm stronger. Hey, turning clocks for the longer days that I wanna waste. Guess I'll serve in the window. I miss myself when I had some common sense. Ooh, all my shirts hanging in the closet. Outlast me when I'm no longer here. Just a pixel, make me wonder all the time. Make me wonder where the time goes. Your hands are stuck inside. Oh no, you're just a victim of a pretty little lie. The apple of my eyes. Take a bite, it's not a cry. Little boy, you act just like an animal. You watching as it passes you by, ignoring all your calendars. Simple joy, you found inside a camera. I saw it through the lens of my tired eye. Something that you could never know. Oh. Don't know where your mind goes, just know where that I know. Don't know where your mind goes, just know where that I know. Don't know where your mind goes, just know where that I know. Just know where that I know. Don't know where your mind goes, pencils down, happy little mistake. Live with it today, crying off the cake. Can't get married to a misdemeanor. Temples tensing up, I wanna be your friend. Why can't we just be friends till I see you again? Maybe till the season ends. Pencils down, happy little mistake. Live with it today, crying off the cake. Can't get married to a misdemeanor. Temples tensing up, I wanna be your friend. Why can't we just be friends till I see you again? Maybe till the season ends. Don't know where your mind goes, just know where that I know. Don't know where your mind goes, just know where that I know. Don't know where your mind goes, just know where that I know. Just know where that I know. Don't know where your mind goes, don't know where your mind goes. Just know where that I know. Don't know where your mind goes, just know where that I know. Don't know where your mind goes, just know where that I know. Just know where that I know. Don't know where your mind goes.
Really, bro?
Just wanna make sure you're in the shot.
My name is Mbye. I'm an artist from Senegal and Gambia, West Africa, based in North Minneapolis. I was named after my grandpa. My full name is Papa Mbye, and Nene means baby. So my name basically means like little dad. I mean, I was kind of hesitant at first, honestly, because I cuss in some of my songs and I really didn't want it to get traced back to me. I kind of just want people to know where I'm from, and I kind of want to represent where I'm from within my music, you know? So if people see Papa Mbye, they know I'm from Senegal or Gambia. It just looks cooler that way, honestly. It looks way better. Yeah, I went in January. It was my first time going since I was like 8 years old. It's definitely like life-changing and confusing and exciting, like all these things at the same time, because that's where I'm from, but it's not where I've been most of my life. So there's like a sense of familiarity, and I feel like I'm at home there, but there's also so much I don't know about that place, you know? No, definitely. I mean, being there as an adult kind of gave me a totally new perspective on particularly just like the people, like seeing my aunties and my uncles and my cousins and interacting with them as adults and seeing them as people rather than, you know, figures of authority. Seeing how they interact with the land and how that differs from people here. Just how family is over there is very different. And I feel like I'm blessed enough to have a piece of that with my parents over here because, you know, although we're raised in Minneapolis, it is a Senegambian household. I remember I was in LA in like 2019 with my friend Philly and Drelly, and there was a moment where we were like hiking on this mountain and we saw something beautiful, and I was just like trying to stop myself from taking so many pictures on my phone because I wondered if it would affect how I remembered the moment, like internally. And when I was writing the song, I was thinking about how technology can aid or take away from our memory. And I guess like the simplest representation of that is just pixel. I mean, when you zoom into something on Photoshop, all you see is these little, you know, specks of color, you know, that make up the photo, rather than like the actual like light that we see, you know, in real life. I mean, our relationship to technology, it's just very complicated, and it's kind of something that you just have to, you know, like monitor for yourself and figure out what works for you. But I mean, I'm not here to say anything about, you know, interacting with technology because I do that shit all the time. You know, I'm always on my phone, I'm always on my computer. I'm always, you know, using it in my daily life. I don't know what I would do without it, to be honest. So I like video games, but I don't play that much anymore, so I'm not very good. Yeah. Oh, I play so many phone games. I play Bubble Buster. One of the classics is Ludo. I play Fruit Ninja sometimes, Block Doku, Chain Cube, Coloring Match, My Mini Mart, Flappy Dunk, Flipper Dunk, Get It Right, many games. Oh, I forgot to mention Tetris. I actually have been in the top 10 in Minneapolis in Tetris many times. I think I've been number 1 in Minneapolis for like just a quick second. I've been up to like top 5 in the Bronx. I want to do like a world Tetris competition and like rank within the top 100, 200. Tetris is about taking your chances, you know? You got to take your chance, go for the big wins, you know? I actually dream about this shit all the time. I've been waiting to get asked that question. I see it in my head, but then I also have this weird scenario in my dreams that I'm like a Tetris protege that got like banished from my like Tetris school because I was like playing the game in a very just like different way, and like my sensei wasn't vibing with it. So I got banished from the school, but I became like a pro Tetris player that was like very revolutionary in terms of like how the game is played now. So it's like I'm a very polarizing figure in the world of Tetris in my head. I mean, I have a very supportive, you know, family. Now, like, my mom and my dad didn't even know I was making music until, like, my sister showed them my music. But, you know, they've been pretty supportive. And, of course, my friends, like, you know, Zak, Ben, Rihanna, we're always just, like, making things. And it doesn't feel like there's any pressure behind it, you know? So I feel grounded all the time because I'm with them all the time. I'm always in between both because the great thing about like improvising on the microphone is you say a lot of things and you go a lot of places that you normally wouldn't let yourself go if you were writing it. And you're kind of like not constrained by the structure of like, certain melodies and certain cadences. So I always like using that as like a baseline. And I used to only like really like do that, but now I'm able to like refine what I'm trying to say and like take it to a different place with writing. So I feel like they work really well together, But I mean, there are moments where I feel like if I improvise like a whole thing and I can't get the feeling of it, if I try to like write it, I'll just like keep that improvised version. I feel like it's just all about the feeling of something. I mean, there's plenty of times where, we try to re-record something and it just doesn't work. Even if it's maybe, sung better or like it's technically better, it just doesn't feel the same. Yeah. And like mbye is kind of interesting because like Tell Me Things, for example, I did a lot of those demo vocals in my old apartment, and when we tried to retrack them, it just wasn't working. So that whole song is just like little bits and pieces of new vocals versus the old vocals, just like kind of mixed in. And I feel like that has kind of become like a stylistic thing in my music where it's like comped in a really interesting way. And if you really listen to it, it doesn't feel like one whole fluid take all the time. Passengers came together pretty interestingly because we made it a couple months after me and Zach had a conversation about being in the passenger or driver's seat when it comes to just like life. So I guess I was just trying to expand on that concept or that story. But I mean, a lot of my music, I feel like is about being just caught in between many different worlds and not really knowing where to go in either of them. Like being an immigrant, being Black, but also being in America, specifically a white America, because I went to school in the suburbs. It's like navigating all these places, having to code switch within, each of them. And yeah, I don't know, not really like having a place, but I feel like with music, I'm finding my place, It almost acts as a certain kind of therapy to me. And it helps me like post-rationalize many different feelings. Yeah, me and Rihanna directed Passenger with some additional direction by Sawyer. I mean, we were heavily inspired by the Nikes video. One of my favorite videos of all time, and Frank Ocean is like one of my favorite artists. But I think we kind of touched on being in many different dimensions with having like so many different kinds of cameras and like so many different kinds of like sets in the video. So I think that variation kind of like speaks to that feeling. Rihanna had this crazy idea of me, being out the sunroof. Because I remember one of the first times we hung out, I had never been out of like the sunroof of a car, and she was playing music really loud. And I was just out the sunroof like, ah. So she brought that idea to me, and one of my friends made this like really big kind of mask, and he made it out of a fishbowl, and he had magnifying glasses on the eyes and the mouth, and it kind of touched on like themes of being not from this world. And like with the song Passenger, Rihanna also was talking about like, the different kinds of passengers, like being a passenger in the car, being a passenger in like an airplane. So we literally, went to a private airport and, got in a plane. And yeah, I guess we were just trying to touch on all the tropes, like very obvious tropes, but also very like esoteric out there things too. Yeah. So that video in itself was also like kind of a collage. Like the music. Oh, I've definitely went like more than 24 hours without food. But it's been 30 days no food in my tummy. It just is like touching on Ramadan because I fast Ramadan every time it comes around. My skin gets a lot clearer. My heart gets rid of all the shit that's inside of it, all the bad shit. And I become pure for just a second. I definitely feel better. And I mean, it's amazing being around my family and having, meals every night when we break our fast. And I've even gotten some friends to start fasting that aren't Muslim. Like my friend Philly always be fasting, and he be feeling good about it. So it feels nice to be able to bring that to people, you know. And it's just something I've been doing since I was like 12. So it's like I feel like my life is very like all over the place, and that's like one consistent thing that I do. You cut the croissant in half, butter croissant. You put it in the oven for like maybe 10 minutes, just so it's not too hard, but just like a little bit crispy, still soft. And then you put turkey, cheese, not like the really yellow kind of cheese, but like the pastel yellow type cheese. I don't know what that's called. And then peanut butter and jelly inside of that. And drink it with tea, with milk, and with evaporated milk and a little bit of sugar and a date. They're kind of just, I guess, representing like different demons. Like I was just trying to kind of like touch on, you know, having fears and having these things inside your head that, you know, just make you feel scared. And I just wanted to represent them in the form of like characters. So I went to LA, and my longtime friend Gabe Hostetler helped direct that, and yeah, we got it done. In my head, we were gonna have like a bunch more characters, but I also am very broke. So one day, we might have like a whole gang of different weird characters. When I was a kid, I always watched Michael Jackson videos. Always. Even before I started making music, like I would act like I'm doing that. Even before I knew I wanted to make music, like I would mimic his performances. Like before, I used to want to be a Michael Jackson impersonator. So I learned every single dance, like from the videos and even the performances, like 1996 MTV Music Awards, you know, the bad performance. Like I learned all those things, but then I realized I wasn't white enough to be an impersonator. My nose wasn't skinny enough, so I left that dream and just put it to the side and just pursued my art. But it's like Michael Jackson, I used to watch videos of him all the time, even though I don't dance in my performances. And then also like, again, Frank, like I love just his taste, and I feel like him having his band really kind of inspired me to like play with my friends in a band. And I feel like for this show, we're trying new things within the band. I want to continue to do that because I never want you to come to a Pop mbye show and feel like you know what's gonna happen. Like I want it to be different every single time. That's why I play so many unreleased tracks too, because I just want it to be a new experience. Also, watching Dijon play live at First Stab was really inspiring. I mean, just people, just family, friends. I feel like everything that I love doing just involves people. My mom, my dad, shout out my mom, my dad, shout out my sisters, Bintu, Aisha, my brothers, Muhammad, Malik, my niece, Zora, my new niece, Zach, Ben, Rihanna, Haroon, Fruit Punch. If I'm forgetting you, just know that I'm thinking about you right now. Everyone. Except some people. But many people. Many people. Not all at all, but many people. Yes.
And then what was like the second to last one you said?
Flappy dunk.
What is